I appreciate the call, and so we're down here and having a good time, seeing a lot of people I haven't seen in a long time.
Did you give him a pair of wingtips?
I've got them on.
Wait, I ordered a set. I know he doesn't have a phone, so he's living happily, but I did get an outfit and a little replica. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet or not.
I'm not sure. The wingtips that I wore were Dexter's, and I think they were headquartered maybe in New Hampshire or Maine. I'm not sure if they still make their wingtip shoe yet.
I'm not sure, but I know if I try them on, I'm probably going to get a penalty. So, yeah, they're a little strict nowadays with the SFI tag. Oh yeah.
So you have to wear that?
We're making gloves that are webbed now. It's wild world.
Well, you know, in my era of the sport, basically, I guess how the wingtips came about is we had a problem, especially on the short tracks, with the big block engines and the headers and stuff and the exhaust pipe up against the floorboard.
The heat, right?
The insulation wasn't in those days what it is today, and actually a piece of plywood worked the best, but it would catch a fire sometimes. and start, you know, like charcoal. And so David Pearson one day at North Wilkesboro said to me, he said, "Haven't you got any shoes with leather soles?" And I said, "Yes, I do." I said, "They're my dress shoes. They're wingtips." And he said, "Well, where are they?" I said, "They're out in the infield, in the trunk, in the car, in the suitcase." He said, "Well, go get them and wear them today." So I did, and then just the race fans picked up on it. I didn't burn my feet that day at North Wilkesboro. And it just, if I go somewhere now and do autographs, people will lift the tablecloths up and look. They want to see if I got the wingtips on.
I love it.
Like when I do the Stocks for Tots autographs, I'll bet you there will be an average of 15 or 20 people want to lift that cloth up on the table and see if I have the wingtips on.
Is it just one pair or multiple?
Oh no, I suppose a half a dozen.
Oh, okay. We need to give him a sponsorship or something.
He had one, he's still wearing the hat.
The Hush Puppy people offered to give me shoes at one time, but they didn't have a wingtip shoe.
Oh, gotcha.
And I don't think they had a leather sole either back then.
Ah, that's awesome. I wear I think these are kangaroo skin. It's a different world for sure. But North Wilkesboro is next week, so I'm gonna try them out.
Anybody?
Dave, you were always so loyal to Goodyear, and to have your throwback scheme honored here and in the Goodyear 400, what does that mean to you? To all it kind of encompasses your career.
Well, I think it's really nice. I mean, I guess you've been involved in the sport a long, long time, and so I've always been loyal to the people that helped me. And Goodyear, if it hadn't been for their help a lot of times, I wouldn't have made it. And I can recall the tire war way, way back, like in 69 or 70, it wasn't a tire war at that time, it was just competition between the other tire company and Goodyear. And I think Firestone came up with that big point fund deal to get a lot of people to run the tire so you could benefit at the end of the year. Goodyear is what they came up with is we could put a Goodyear service store tire center ad on our race car, and they would supply us with X number of dollars worth of tires during the season. If we exceeded that number, then we had to pay for the tires. But that's what got me on the Goodyear tires, and they've helped me a lot. And then I done the IROC cars, and of course we had Goodyear involved in the IROC cars. So I was one of the first testers of the radial tires because we tested them beginning on the IROC cars before we came into the NASCAR side with them. So it's been a long friendship between us and Goodyear in many, many, many years, and I appreciate it, and I know they appreciate what I done for them. And I always felt like even when we did have the tire wars going on, a couple times both tires were having problems because Goodyear come with a soft tire to try and combat the other tire manufacturer, and it got them in trouble. And I just didn't run the other tire. I stayed on the Goodyears. I guess I recall Charlotte, you know, we got Harry Gann hurt and Ricky Rudd, and I was in the office talking with Leo Mayo about bringing me some Atlanta tires, and he said that he had some but not enough to supply the field, and the NASCAR rule was when they brought a tire, they had to have enough of them to supply the entire field in case other people wanted to switch. So Dale Earnhardt and Kenny Schrader came in the office when I was talking to Mr. Mayo, and they were concerned with the tire thing and didn't want to run the other tire. But eventually I was the only guy that started the race on the Goodyear tires, and the tires that Leo was able to bring actually were the Daytona tires, and he was quite concerned about me being able to qualify on those tires, because that was a pretty hard tire for Charlotte. But I did. I think I got qualified like 36th or 38th. And in the race, I was going to be in good shape. Not that I was outrunning anybody, but they were pitting twice to my once. So what I would lose in the pit stop segment, I would make back up when they had to pit again. And eventually I was passing Sterling Marlin going in the third turn, and he blew one of them other tires and put me in the wall. So the other damn tire got me anyhow.
Yeah, that was the 600 when Goodyear pulled out. and
That was
Hoosier
the World
there.
600. Goodyear pulled out, yep.
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 I was going to ask Zane about the tires for the North Wilkesboro race, the All-Star race. What do you think about, you know, when you think about the fact that you could run a soft tire or a hard tire and how that combination might work, and obviously you still have to race your way in and all of that. But
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I mean, obviously, the elephant in the room is the short tracks have been a struggle, and I think anything is great to just try to learn and make it better. And I think this is the perfect opportunity to do that. And there's been some conversation with the softer tire made out of the rain tire rubber, and I heard how much faster it is, but obviously the fall off and what we want is fall off. And so excited to see how that is. But yeah, just having options is going to be great.
They're going to give you that option.
Yep. So
I wasn't aware of that. Well, I think that would be great.
Yeah.
Because it's probably going to make better racing.
Right. There's
Some
obviously
guys
going
are
to be
willing to gamble.
Exactly. Yeah. There's going to be guys that aren't having such a good day and may as well risk it. It's no
Absolutely.
points, and throw some soft tires, haul butt for a little laps or a few laps, and then you're obviously going to fall off there. But yeah, it'll be exciting.
cool deal.
Did you ever think we'd get back to North Wilkesboro?
Well, I'm glad to see it, but you know, it looked pretty much for a while there like it was over with or the end of it.
Yeah.
So it's always been a nice racetrack, and it's been part of NASCAR from day one. So you should be there.
Yeah, I think it'll be awesome. I obviously was happy I got to experience the real Wilkesboro with the old pavement. The pavement was definitely real old. It was fun, but just had the experience there in the truck last year. But yeah, excited to see how fast it is with the new pavement.
I think Dave raced on that old pavement.
Huh?
So he raced on that old pavement.
Yes,
Yeah.
lots
It
of
was
times.
old when he raced on it.
Yeah.
Well, it was wore out, like Zane said. It was in pretty bad shape, but just like Darlington here, it doesn't take long for this racetrack surface to go away with all the sand and stuff here
Right.
either. So
Yep, 100%.
Zane, get Dave to tell you about his shop firsthand when he came to North Carolina.
What's
There
that?
in Arden, North Carolina.
Tell me about it.
Well, just a big old building and have one light bulb hanging from the ceiling, and the ceiling's about, I guess it's 20 feet high, and it did not have a furnace in it.
Oh man,
So we had a wood stove in there that we would use in the wintertime,
dang.
and when we would go to paint the car, we'd have to set one side by the wood stove, and I'd go back there sometimes at night and keep that fire going. And the next morning we could paint that side of the car, and then we would turn it back and get the other side warm and paint that side.
Yeah.
And of course, in those days we used lacquer paint, so it would dry, but that's what we had to do. But we had one light bulb. There wasn't even a electrical receptacle plug-in in there.
Man,
Wasn't
we have
a
it so
feed store
easy.
building? Had it been a feed store?
Yeah, I think part of it was maybe a store, and then it was for feed, for farmers' feed storage and
Yeah.
corn and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. That's awesome.
And it had a big old door, wooden door. It didn't have to rain to get heavy to lift up. All it had to do was get cloudy, and you could.
Yeah.
And and a guy by the name of Frank Graham, we call him Doc, worked for me. And he could tell when Helen would come down there, the only way in the shop was to raise that door. And she could sling that door up better than most people. And Doc would say, that's Helen coming.